Morning, children.
Good morning, teacher.
Today, we are going to read a story entitled The Tale of the Fisherman and the Fish. Once upon a time, there lived an old couple in an old wooden hut by the sea. The old man went fishing every day while his wife washed clothes at home. And in the picture, you can see an old woman and an old man. One day, after a whole day's hard work, the fisherman had only caught one little fish. He was very disappointed. Unexpectedly, the fish opened her mouth and began to talk. "Please, old man, let me go," she said. In the picture, you can see the old man, which is the fisherman. And there is a little fish. The fisherman was astonished to hear a fish speak. He thought to himself, "I could never bring myself to kill such a wonderful fish." So he let her go. Before leaving, the fish said to the fisherman, "Thank you so much. Please let me know if you need anything. I'll give you whatever you desire." So in the picture, there is a little fish and a fisherman at the seashore. The fisherman didn't ask for anything. He went back home quickly and told his wife about the strange thing that had happened to him on the shore. His wife was furious with him for not making a wish. She said, "Why don't you go and ask her for a new wooden washtub since ours is broken?" So the fisherman went home, and there is this old woman, which is his wife. The fisherman returned to the seashore and called out to the fish. He said that his wife wanted a new washtub. The fish promised to grant his wish. When the fisherman returned home, he saw a new washtub. His wife was not satisfied and said, "You are such a fool. Go back to the fish and ask for a new house." So, in the first picture, we can see that the fisherman went to the seashore and asked for the fish a wish, and then go back home, and unexpectedly, his wish was granted. The fisherman went back to the sea and told the fish, "My wife wants a new house." The fish promised to grant his wish. When the fisherman returned, he saw a new nice brick house was standing where their old wooden hut used to be. The fisherman again went back to the sea and asked another wish to the fish. And then when he go back home, his wish was granted, which is there is a new house. Now, the fisherman's wife shouted even louder, "You are such a fool. Go back to the fish and tell her I want to live in a big castle and become a noble woman." The fisherman went to the sea and said to the fish, "My wife wants to be a noble woman and live in a big castle. I will grant her wish," the fish replied. Again, the fisherman go back home to his wife, and then his wife asked another wish. And then the fisherman go back to the seashore and wish to the fish. So the fish again granted his wish. When the old fisherman returned home, he saw the brick house had already been transferred into a big castle. Now, the old woman had servants and was wearing beautiful clothes. She bossed the fisherman around, ordering him to do whatever she wanted. Again, when the fisherman went home, he saw a big castle. And then his wife ordered him anything that she wanted. Soon, the old woman was discontented again and wanted to be a queen. The fisherman went to see the fish and told her what his wife wanted now. The fish comforted him and told him to go home. When the fisherman arrived, he found a great palace, inside which his wife was seated on a throne. So again, the fisherman went to the seashore to wish for the fish. And then when he came home, his wife was seated in a throne. A few weeks later, the queen ordered the fisherman, "Go and tell the fish that I want to be empress of land and sea." The fisherman was so terrified of his wife that he did not dare to disobey her. He had to go back to the sea. Again, the fisherman was being ordered by his wife to go back to the sea and ask another wish to the fish. The fisherman trudged wearily back to the seashore and called out to the fish. He said timidly, "My wife wants to be empress of land and sea." This time, the fish did not reply, but turned and swam away out to the sea. The fisherman slopped back home, only to find that the splendid palace had changed back to their old wooden hut. This time, the fish did not grant his wish, and the fish turned away. And when he went back home, he saw that the palace turned to their old wooden hut. After that, everything went back the way it was. Every day, the fisherman went fishing, and his wife washed clothes in the broken wooden wash tub. So, after all that happens, it went back to normal, wherein they live in a wooden hut with his wife. And every day he went back fishing, and his wife went back in washing clothes. Summary: the tale of the fisherman and the fish is adapted from a fairy tale in verse by Alexander Pushkin, the great writer and poet of 19th century in Russia. In the story, the fisherman was very hardworking and kind, but had a very greedy wife. At first, she forced the fisherman to ask the fish for a new wooden washtub and a new house, and then a big castle. The fish granted all her wishes, but nothing could satisfy the fisherman's wife. She wanted to be a queen and then an empress. In the end, her beautiful palace changed back to the old wooden hut, and once again, she had to use the old wooden washtub to wash their clothes. The story tells us that everyone should live simply and be contented with what they have. Thus, who are greedy and expect more than they deserve may end up with nothing. The end.